can calculate the gear ratio of the entire gear train. And so that is going to be GR total is equal to GR1 times GR2. So GR1, our first gear ratio, that's basically your A to B. And then GR2 is your C to D. So this will be equal to I forgot to put a box around this one. Okay, so that will be equal to 4 over 1. Oh, don't put a box around this part, silly Gomez. Times 2.5 over 1, which is, it's got to multiply straight across. 4 times 2.5 gives us a gear ratio of 10 to 1. So when we actually combine gear trains like this, where we've got a couple sharing an axle, that is actually multiplying your gear ratio. Instead of just having all of the idler gears in the middle not matter, this is really how we're multiplying things and getting an even bigger gear ratio than we could have just putting 2 gears together. Okay, that is the gear ratio of our entire train. To review, in this lesson, I didn't actually make a, that's the lesson 1 review, excuse me. Well, let's just review real quick what we covered today in this lesson. That is, sorry that it's broken into 3 videos. We had a few little things pop up. Okay, so I started over here. So we looked over how gear ratios are similar to mechanical advantage, but they're not exactly the same, but we can use very similar patterns with them. And then we tried calculating our first compound machine, and we dealt with thinking about this as a wheel and axle. And then we moved on to the gear train part, which is going to be a separate calculation. And then machine number 3, that was the 0.15, and then the total mechanical advantage, that was these 2 multiplied together, got us about 0.4, which it was exactly 0.4005, but just rounding that off to 0.4 would be fine. I just wanted to make sure that you saw that these are 2 different values. They're not, it's just a coincidence that they both happen to be able to round to 0.4. So our gear ratio was the 0.4. And so that's for a compound machine that's using some simple machines as well. And then what we just did was our compound gear train, where we have 2 gear trains, A and B, and then C and D, with B and C sharing the axle. And we calculated those gear ratios and then multiplied those 2 together to get our total gear ratio.